Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of my budgeting videos. Now you are not mistaken that you've missed one for January. I did not do a budget for my first paycheck in January of 2024. I have no really good reason for that other than the day or the weekend that paycheck came through. If I remember correctly, it was a really bad weekend for me for concussion symptoms, and I just could not do the math on the weekend. And so I was like, I'll do it somewhere during the week, but that's kind of ridiculous for me because during the week, by the time I finish a day at work, my brain's fried and and then all of a sudden it became, well, I'll do it next weekend, and then it didn't happen next weekend, and then it just kept happening or not happening, so to speak. And now here we are at the weekend of the next paycheck. So the paycheck that technically I'm budgeting is the January 26th paycheck from Friday. It is now the 28th, so Sunday, so only a couple days beyond it, and well within what I feel is the realm of okay timeline for budgeting a paycheck. Yeah, so let's go through. I'll try to explain what I did because I was trying to make up for missing a budget for the last paycheck by doing things twice with this one, because I had the paycheck deposited from the 12th of January, and I do have one bill that auto withdraws from my account, which is my my car payment. Everything else though I have to do, so I just didn't do it, and eventually it catches up to you. So 26th of January is the paycheck that I'm technically working from. My balance in the account is $3,983.53. So that's from this paycheck, last paycheck, and my mom has lent me a little bit of money. So I pulled out $1,300 to go for February rent. Normally every paycheck I pull out half the amount I need for rent, and then I have a savings account that I shuffle it off into so I don't accidentally spend it. But I just decided, since I didn't do that with the January 12th paycheck, I would just take the total amount, and I've just already e-transferred it over and paid my rent for January. So that leaves me with $2,683.53. So then I calculated out the SUV payment that will automatically withdraw this coming Tuesday. And then my Neo card, so that one I never carry a balance on this credit card, and there was an amount due. Like, if I had done my last paycheck properly, then I would have paid off this and this amount. The $195.12 that I have owing on it right now wouldn't be nearly as high. But another weird thing about this one, to me anyways, is that they almost never give me a due date. I think it's because I never have a running balance on it, so they just can't, the system, I mean, I don't think it's a person, but I think the system just can't calculate when they want my money because I never owe them money. But they actually did have a due date this time. I'm nowhere near it, so it's fine. But yeah, so $195.12 went to pay off the Neo card, so that's at a zero balance again. I just randomly checked my BMO card on the app. I've paid off that card completely, so I wasn't expecting there to be anything on there, and I was very surprised to see that I have a balance of $32.71, and I have no idea what that is for. Like, I suppose it's possible when I paid off the full balance I was a bit wrong in my calculations, but I am sure that I remember checking it, every day after I made like that final payment on the card to make sure that it processed, and I'm sure it showed a zero balance. So I'm not really sure where the $32.71 charge came from, because nothing auto charges to that card. I don't use that card. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to try to figure out that mystery. My line of credit, which for some reason I wrote as an LOA originally, so it's a bit messy, has a minimum payment of $364.52, and then that so far has gotten me down to $1,824.46. My Visa minimum payment was like $53 and change, something like that, so I paid $80. And then this is a bit of a weird one. So not the last paycheck, but I suppose 2 paychecks ago, whenever I last did math, my cash envelopes, they're all digital, but I decided to actually pull out as actual physical cash the money for my cat Striker, his envelope, and money for work parking, because I was finding that with unexpected expenses that were coming up really kind of randomly due to like the concussion. So say I have to get to physio, but my head is just really bad that day and I can't safely drive, so I have to take an Uber, or like just something like that. My digital cash envelopes were having money withdrawn from them in ways that I wasn't prepared for. And so I mean, it's fine because all of the money for all my cash envelopes is in one account, and then I just sort of keep track on paper, like, oh, okay, I spend $60 on groceries, so I deduct it in like a little book showing how much I now have left in the column for groceries, kind of a thing. But I had but I had these unexpected expenses, and it's fine, in my opinion, to borrow from one cash envelope to help cover the cost of something in another cash envelope. So, if I go a little bit over in groceries, I'm fine with pulling the money from like the miscellaneous category to cover it, things like that. But I never want to pull to cover for expenses from Striker or from my work parking. And I'm worried, because with these unexpected expenses, that I was doing that. And so then I have to like re-top them up with a bigger deposit into the cash envelope to get Striker back to where his cash envelope should have been. And I don't want to be doing that. So last time I did a budget for Striker, I calculated $100, and work parking for 2 weeks is $80. And so I kept them in my bank account with the intention of going to the bank and pulling them out as physical cash and putting them into actual envelopes. And then I never made it to the bank, but I also didn't spend the money. So this line is just me sort of withdrawing it from the calculation so I don't accidentally put it towards a bill. And then there's like follow up with Striker stuff a bit later. So then I get into my sinking funds. So my SUV insurance, everything now is ×2 because I didn't do a deposit into any of my sinking funds for the January 12th paycheck. So I put $134 into that sinking fund, $28 into my tenant insurance sinking fund, $80 into my emergency fund. Oh, I should put ×2. $30 into my tech sinking fund, $40 into my dragon boating sinking fund. So now I'm at a total of $1,252.46. And then presents, that sinking fund got 40, travel got 80. My cash envelopes that I pulled out was $334.50. And yeah, that's right, sorry. So that left me with $797.96, and then I realized that I forgot my cell phone, so $60. So that left me with $737.96. And I don't know why I put LOA instead of LOC both times. So I decided, because I had so much left over, I was making an additional payment to the line of credit of $364.52, which is the minimum payment. I was hoping to be able to do this, but I didn't want to calculate it out at the beginning and then find I didn't have enough money. But normally every paycheck I pay the minimum balance on the line of credit, and so I really wanted to make sure that I had 2 payments of that amount in January, so I do. And then I deposited a check for $63.61, I think it was. It's a check from the government. And so I pulled 63 of that to put towards my 100 envelope challenge. And then I put $150 towards the Visa, because right now my Visa is at a fairly high balance, nowhere near as much as my line of credit. There is enough room on my line of credit to move over the balance from the Visa. So I'm thinking yet again to do that, because the BMO is done, the NEO is always under control. And it might be easier if I just have the line of credit that I'm making concentrated payments on. And then, yeah, I do have a couple things that auto charge to the Visa, like my contribution to the food bank. I do a monthly donation, and so like little things like that. But otherwise, if I could just get out of the habit of using it, I say this, but I'm gonna have to put a charge of $300 onto it, because my car was the victim of a hit and run and I have to pay the deductible for the repairs. But I will then be immediately paying that off by taking $300 from my emergency fund. So, but anyways, this is leaving me with a balance right now of $160.44 in my account. Now, I tried to put some money towards my RRSP and my bank app wouldn't let me. It said that I had to update my profile or something, and it was too much to be dealing with right now. So right now that is the balance that's sitting there. I have a little note here to remind me about how I didn't do the budget for the January 12th paycheck, in case future me wonders why I have all of these done twice. And then a little note here. So my Microsoft 365 renewal went through on the 22nd of January. It was $122.08. So it's just a note to me that I moved $122.08 from the tech sinking fund and paid it to the Visa. So that's on top of the 2 Visa payments that I made. Now my cash envelopes, this is the breakdown of them. They've changed. Physio used to be a step class, and work parking I didn't put anything into because I already have the money sitting in the checking account that I swear I'm going to get around to the bank somewhere in the next week and actually pull out and have as a physical envelope. So Striker every paycheck gets $32.50. Groceries, I already did my grocery shopping for this week, so I'm giving myself 60 for next week. Takeout, I messed this up because I ordered sushi today, and so I should have calculated out the amount that I spent on my sushi today and only had the remaining balance going for the rest of this 2-week cycle, but I forgot, and the transfers have already been done. So 50 for miscellaneous, or sorry, 50 for takeout, 50 for miscellaneous, 50 for fun, 42 for physio. That is coming because most of my expenses, my medical expenses from the car accident, are covered by insurance. But physio, one of my treatments is getting massage therapy, and every time I have a massage therapy appointment, I have to pay $21. It's like an office fee. I think it's supposed to sort of cover the cost of sanitizing the room in between people. And I haven't been budgeting for it, even though I know that it's going to be a thing that's happening and I have to pay for it. So I decided to add it into the cash envelopes, and then that way I'm not putting it onto the credit card. I just have it in the budget. And then gas, $50. So my cash envelope total is $334.50, which is what I pulled out from the budget. But down here I made a little note that the $32.50, that Striker's contribution, I'm not including in that. So I only moved over to the digital cash envelopes $302, and I'm going to pull out from the bank as actual cash $132.50 for Striker, his envelope, and $80 for the work parking envelope. And then those will be, I will continue forward with doing those ones as actual cash contributions, and then the rest will continue with being digital. Now let me just show really quick. That's the calendar for the month, because I never did show it to you. It's really boring and I feel like it's missing something, but I honestly can't figure out what. So some of the things that are down here are actually things that are due in February. So my Visa and my BMO have due dates of February, and my NEO actually has a due date of February. I don't know what happened to the January dates, so I just made a note of them down there, but I'll put them onto the February calendar as well when I do the February setup. And then the money that I got, so my 2 paychecks, and then the government check up there. And this, my bill tracker, I filled out for January, and then also February's rent since I already paid it. But the rest of them, this is just what you saw, except instead of having everything showing as a double payment, I actually broke it down to like what the separate payments would have been for each of them. So, you know, like let me think here, the Dragon Boat, on the budget it shows like I took out 40, but it is technically 2 payments of 20. So I just divided it out that way. Yeah, that is my January budget. I don't like that I missed the January 12th paycheck, and yet it kind of in a way made this one simpler to budget. I don't know why. Maybe just because there was more money, so it felt like I was more capable of doing something, but it is not a good system at all. And I always forget, like when I have a weekend where I can't do the budget, then I get really all like anxiety and anxious about it and nervous about like, what's my money doing? Where's my money? Blah, blah, blah. And then that weirdly enough has me putting off working on the budget because now I'm nervous about the budget. But then when I actually sit down and do the math and I see where the money is and where it's all going and how it's all sorted out, I feel immediately better. So I don't know why I don't remember when I'm feeling nervous that I will absolutely feel better once it's all done and then just get it over with. But I don't. Ah well. Are any of you like that, or is it just me that's really weird with that? So here is the budget for January 26th. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's all it is right now. Fairly simple, just the math all broken down. I will endeavor to be a much better budgeter and actually budget for each of the paychecks that I receive in February instead of just, you know, skipping one like some kind of rebel. So how is your budget going? Is everything doing well? Did you actually budget for all of your paychecks this month, unlike me? I hope you did. I hope nobody else did what I did. And yeah, I'm just babbling at this point, so I'm gonna go. I hope everybody has a really great day. Enjoy whatever weather you are getting right now. Stay safe out there, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.